Hey, what if these talks start to become me going through my notes again? That's always hilarious, since I don't remember half of them. And I leave my book up on my altar. Oh, this is very cool. This is very cool. Okay, this is not what we're talking about today, but we're going to talk about it first. Do you see this chart? Okay, when you're young, you're supposed to practice 4 parts asana, 2 parts pranayama, 1 part meditation. When you're in the middle of your life, there is no age around this. I think it's up to your own discretion. When you're in the middle of your life, you do 2 parts asana, 4 parts pranayama, and still 1 part meditation. And then when you're old, that's what it says right here. Youth, middle, old. When you're old, you do 1 part asana. Yes, I'm not old yet. 2 parts pranayama and 4 parts meditation. Isn't that interesting? Youth, middle of the life, end of the life, asana, pranayama, meditation. Of course, if you're doing Ashtanga, you probably don't believe in age, and asana, pranayama, and meditation are all happening at the same time, so you don't really need this, which is how come it's in my bag, because I don't really remember it until I look at the note. I'm here. Oh, look, this is what you need in your day pack when you're traveling. You don't really need all that. I'm just seeing if I have any notes on malas. Japa Mala. Japa Mala, that's the topic of us getting together right now. Oh, I have all my notes on Vastu. Oh, hey, here's that same chart. Oh, you know who told me about this? I wrote this on the end of a box because I didn't have any paper with me when Desikachar was at the studio. So this is actually from Krishnamacharya's son, this whole 421, 241, 124 thing. Maybe don't throw it out right away. Okay, so anyway, Japa Mala. Japa means repetition. Mala is a garland. And I don't think I'm going to have anything in here that I don't remember. I mean, everything in here I don't remember, but on the subject of Japa Mala, I don't think. No idea what that is. Oh, yamas. I don't think I'm going to have anything that we need in here. Great. Okay, that's that. This is this. I believe that this whole thing right here is on pranayama. Today is January 30th, 2022. 2022. And sorry for the slow start. Okay, Japa Mala, repetition. People have asked how are the mala beads used? So there are some things that traditionally you get for yourself. Like if you want a singing bowl, you're supposed to pick that out yourself. Mala beads, your teacher is actually supposed to give to you. And many people end up with multiple mala sets throughout their life. So I brought some to show you. They have 108 beads. These are lotus seeds. This is a full 108. Usually the lotus mala that I have around has 54. It's a half mala. So it's about that big, which is lovely. I'm cold, so I still have my scarf on. And you can, twist them up 3 times or whatever. So there we go. This tassel is still tied. There's usually a bead with a tassel, and that's called the Mirror Bead or the Guru Bead. And it is not supposed to be passed when you're using your mala beads. Also, I'm just going to tell you all the rules, even though they came from like different people, different places, and then you'll have a beautiful set of malas that I'll give you and you'll stick it on a high shelf. Not really. I don't care what you do. Okay, so the first finger represents the ego. And I don't really like the word ego, but it represents kind of our base instincts on how to stay alive. And it can be a little bit cutthroat. So you use your other fingers and you do a mantra or whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing would be considered a mantra, or you could be doing a pranayama anyway. And then you have that bead in your hand and then you move it, move it, move it, and you don't use the first finger. So you go all the way around 108 times. And then you get to the mirror bead. And instead of saying, oh, I did one round and jumping across it, you actually turn around and you go back all the way around. So you never cross the guru bead or the mirror bead. You never cross it. That's pretty standard tradition. Not using the first finger is, I think it's standard, I don't know. Another thing that some people do is they take their beads and they keep them in a secret little pouch. And the pouch usually hangs around either one shoulder, so it's kind of off to the side, or it, you know, or some people store their beads up inside of their hair, especially if they have a big dreadlocks, they can stick their beads up in there. And if they're inside their hair, they'll bring them out and use them. If they're in a pouch, they actually work the beads inside of the pouch without ever exposing the beads to anyone else's eyesight. So the pouch has a little drawstring and they can work it right at the top. Another thing about mala beads is they become infused with the mantra that you're doing with them. And they become very sacred and very vibrational. And they are some people's main, what do I want to say? Main form, main thing, main form of divine energy. So they get infused with divine energy and they are divine energy. And because of that, they're never supposed to go below our belly button. So when you have them at home and if you take them off, which I don't even really wear mala beads, but if you take them off, you want to put them up high so that no matter who's around, they're never below someone's belly button. So sometimes there'll be a high little platform shelf just for the mala beads. And they're often in a pouch or, you know, whatever. Anyway, so these are lotus seeds and they smell kind of good and they're beautiful. What I love about them is I am not going to think, oh, did I touch that bead yet? Because the bead is so big and there's knots in between. I really like to have malas that have knots in between each bead. I also brought, let's see, I also brought Tulsi. Tulsi is very, very light. And different sources give each wood or stone or bone or whatever the mala is made out of. Everyone gives it kind of different meaning. So you can either look that up or you can just decide what you like the feel of. I also really love this Tulsi set. There's knots in between each bead. And the beads are really, they're all very different from each other. I mean, not very, but anyway, they're good in my fingers. Like if my eyes are closed, I can still know what I'm doing and which bead I'm on. So this is a set of Tulsi. Here's the Mirror Bead, and it has a little tassel. They're very, very light. And I think Tulsi might have something to do with Krishna. I don't really know who's into the lotus seeds other than us. And then, oh, here's another Tulsi. It's a little bit smaller. Sorry, my scarf is on, but it is chilly. So it's a little bit smaller. I'm going to say this is an 8mm. That's my guess. There's the mirror bead. And you would just, and again, these are really light, but with the knot in between and the way that the tulsi is cut, I feel like I can keep track of which bead I'm on and cruise through. So another tulsi. Here's a really, oh my gosh, this is the best smelling mala. And here's the mirror bead. See how there's that bead and then and this is still tied. Usually when I give someone a mala, I'll wear it maybe for a day or a few days or an hour, whatever. And when I am wearing it, that's when I set the tassel free. Anyway, these smell like I want my whole life to smell. They're sandalwood and they just smell the best. However, to use them, they don't have knots in between. They're fine. They're not too small. I can work them and feel good about it. So anyway, these smell the best. They do not have a knot. Here's another sandalwood. It didn't get sprung from its wrapper yet. Oh, here's another sandalwood. I brought 3 sandalwoods. Here's another sandalwood. I love this one. It does have knots in between. The mirror bead is just a regular bead with a tassel that's tied. Oh, sorry, I wasn't holding that correctly. That's tied differently. So here the mirror bead is the same shape. And because these have knots, I can do it. I don't usually use anything this small. They're pretty small compared to the other ones here. I'll show you. I think that this sandalwood that smells so good, it's usually, I think this is an 8mm, and then this other one might be, actually it might be a 10mm, and then the 8mm has the yellow string and the knots. And then here is another sandalwood. I don't know if you can tell the difference. It's a 6mm. It's a little bit smaller. Maybe it's the same size. I think it's a little bit smaller. And I have actually gotten some really good smelling sandalwood, which for whatever reason doesn't have the knots. And I had it in this 6mm, and without the knots, I couldn't fit it over my head. It just wouldn't happen. Anyway, this one's really cute. It smells pretty good. This one's really cute. It has brown string and brown tassel, and same thing. It's the regular bead that they just put a tassel on for the mirror bead. So those are both cool. Yeah, this has to be a little bit bigger. I bet this is a 6mm. I think this is an 8mm because same number of beads, but a little bit longer. Okay, and then, and then I have this. It has a mirror bead, and instead of a tassel, it just has a nice knot, some string, and the mirror bead is different. I mean, it's 2 beads, but both of them are different than what it's made out of. I think this is Bodhi seed. And the Bodhi tree is the tree that Buddha was sitting under when he became right with everything. You can see, yeah, I got it close enough. You can see that they are beads and they're cute. There's no knots in between. I got this in Nepal, so I like it, but I don't usually use it. Okay, and then we have Rudraksha. Rudraksha, here's our biggest Rudraksha. Rudraksha is for Shiva. These are super easy to use because they are gigantic. They'll break at some point. They've all broken. Their Mirror Bead is just a big old Rudraksha, and it had a tassel, but the tassel has come off of this one. So now this is it has a 2-thread tassel now. And these are huge and gaudy and gaudy. Ah, that's kind of a pun and funny. You won't be able to see my scarf. Okay, here's another set of Rudraksha. They're a little bit lighter in color. I don't think that they have been dipped in anything to make them red. Rudraksha is often paired with the color red. And you can see these do have knots in between. So, and the Mirror Bead, same bead, red tassel. And I would totally use these because they have the knot in between. They're really easy to use. And I love Rudraksha, and I like that it has so much texture to it. Rudraksha has the most texture. I've seen people with just one Rudraksha seed on a necklace. There's different stories about Rudraksha being super powerful. They are supposed to have a certain number of sides to the seed, and I don't remember that number. And occasionally they have more, and there's some super sacred number. I don't know what it is today. Anyway, there's some super sacred number, and sometimes you'll see a big Rudraksha bead all by itself. And it's because it has the most sacred number of sides. This is the cutest little mala. I don't think this one will fit. Oh, it does fit over my head because it has, look at that. Look at how little those Rudraksha seeds are. They're so cute. And there's a knot in between. And because, you know what, I could use these. And again, they're so small, I don't. Because if I'm really thinking, not about my mantra, but if I'm thinking my mantra, I don't want to have to think about my fingers. So I use bigger, but I would love to wear this. I use bigger seeds or beads because they make more sense to me. But this is beautiful. And this is one that I would probably wear out of the house. The reason I don't ever wear malas, I mean, ever is a big word, but is because I like to do handstands. And then they fall down, and then they're on the ground. And then I hope no one saw that. And then I realize no one I know, well, now everyone, but you know what I mean? Like most people don't know that malas aren't supposed to touch the ground or be low. Or what if in handstand, my butt is above my mala? That doesn't seem right. Anyway, so I don't usually wear malas, all sorts of reasons. Here's a nice set. It is ebony and Rudraksha. And the Mirror Bead is one of the ebony beads. And it looks like black thread and a black tassel. I guess I started putting these all on, so I should continue, even though I'm going to have to take them off in a second. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Here's Rudraksha with metal, and there's a metal cap on each Rudraksha. And the Mirror Bead is the same bead with the little tassel. Super cute. I don't wear that one because the metal ends up pulling my hair. So Rudraksha has something to do with Shiva. I have been told that only men wear Rudraksha. I have not found that to be true, but I was told that by one person in India. Also, look at how pretty this color of yellow is on the tassel. That's so pretty. So Rudraksha and ebony, no knot in between. It's still manageable because each bead, like it's like bumpy smooth, bumpy smooth, bumpy smooth. Okay, so why is 108 sacred? Well, there's some calculation about the earth, the moon, and the sun. there's multiple calculations, but there's some calculation that has to do with, I don't even know what, but it comes out to 108. So some people think that it has to do with the planets and the stars. And other people, oh, look, this is the baby Rudraksha. So cute. Let me just take these off and then we'll talk about trivia. Sandalwood with knots. I definitely like a knotted mala. Oh yeah, Tulsi. Seems to be tangled up in other things. Hold on. Pretty long Rudraksha, really beautiful. Red string, red tassel. Look at this 108 compared to this 108. They're at the same height. It's just the size of the bead. The smaller the bead, usually the more expensive. They're not expensive. Okay, if you get, this is the one that smells good. If you get a set of malas and they have stone beads, I wouldn't use them unless they have a knot in between each bead. If there is no knot, the stone beads cut the string really quickly. Dharma Mitra was using a Rudraksha mala set, and when it broke, he just gave individual beads to his students. I love this one with the brown, sandalwood with the brown. Also, I don't know why I don't have any here today, but there's also red sandalwood, and it's supposed to be really good for people who are hot-headed. I didn't make that up. It's kind of true. Uh-oh. This mala that didn't have a tassel was trying to take a tassel off of my scarf. Here's another Tulsi. Here's the gigantic Rudraksha. I hope that you're just driving or something and listening to this, because we haven't talked about anything. I mean, not much. Okay, they're all off of me. Tulsi, Rudraksha, sandalwood, ebony, lotus seed. That's what I had today. And okay, so why is 108 sacred? Well, some people think that it has to do with some sort of calculation of the earth and the sun and distance and the cosmos. And other people think that when someone gave you a task, when someone gave me a task and they said, go do this 108 times, personally, like, I'm not a quick learner and I can focus for a bit and then I lose my focus. And I might not really get something done. If the teacher said, go do this 100 times, 100 times is so I would get the hang of it. And 108, some people think it's so that you actually do it 100 times. I don't know. Also, another cool thing, a baseball has 108 stitches on it. Okay, japa means repetition. Mala means garland. Japa mala is used in Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism. The rosary has 108 beads. The baseball has 108 stitches. I probably have 108 chocolate bars. I don't. I wish I had 108 chocolate bars. Not really. Don't send me any chocolate bars. So, sorry. Anyway, that's it. You can wear them if you want to. You don't have to. Maybe keep them above the belly button. Maybe keep them up off the floor. And at the same time, if they make you happy and they are jewelry, in our culture, many people just wear them as a bracelet and wear them and then take them off and set them at the end of their yoga mat or whatever. And that's all fine. It's not, there isn't anything that's bad. Trade Winds downtown across from the old studio, they used to have a few sets of really antique mala beads with the pouch, and they were worn down from being used so much. They were really beautiful. And they have mala beads there. Usually when people finish their teacher training, I give them a mala. I don't know, I think maybe that answered it all. First finger doesn't touch it. Go around, hit the mirror bead. If you want to do another round, don't pass it, go the other way, go the other way, go the other way, go the other way. And it may not look like anyone is doing that if you watch someone who's really working their beads, because what they'll do is they'll flip it. So it looks like they're going, because they're turning the whole set and continuing. Visually, it might not, you might miss that. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for asking about malas and Japa Mala. And if you have a mantra, that's great. I usually count on my fingers, so I don't have to carry anything. And often when I do mantra, I'm not counting. I met a woman who told me she was doing a mantra that her guru gave her. She was highly indoctrinated to me, it was a cult, but she was highly indoctrinated into this one lineage. And her guru gave her a mantra, and she was supposed to do it something like 20,000 times. I don't know. I think it was a lot, a whole lot. And at the time I owned a health food store, and she shopped there, and she came in and she was like, oh, you know, there was one day where I didn't do my mantra, and it was a lot. I really think it was 20,000 times a day, but maybe, I don't know, probably was. I think that's a little much personally. So anyway, she came into the health food store and she was like, oh, one day you know, after years of doing my mantra a bazillion times a day, I missed it. And I was so disappointed, and I didn't want to tell my guru. And then I told him, and I was like, what happened? Why did you miss it? And she was like, I was in labor for more than 48 hours with my son, so I missed one whole day. I was like, what? You were in labor with your son? That's like the most sacred thing you could do, I would think, in a human body, in a female body. That would be up there. Anyway, I just thought that was funny, that, because, you know, I'm not quite so serious as the people who are very, 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 very serious. I'm sure they're laughing at me being not serious, which is good. We can all entertain each other. Okay, one other thing. I think that when people say, you know, oh, this stone is good for this and this, Jyotish is a Vedic astrology, and it's very, very, very old. And somewhere mixed into that, there's some word that I don't know having to do with gemstones, and how gemstones can be used to help balance or accentuate the good parts of your astrological situation that you came into this life with. There's a couple things. One is, if you're talking to someone about gemstones and they seem to know exactly what every single gemstone is for, I would be a little bit cautious. And when people say, oh, you know, this wood is for this gemstone is for this, it's just like everything else, where that's sweet and it's well intended, and not everyone agrees on the qualities of each thing. There is some ancient information about gemstones and bone and seeds and wood, sandalwood, tulsi. There is some ancient information that at least it isn't just someone's opinion during Kali Yuga. But I don't know that stuff. And so I just have a tendency to not believe people that much. Okay, well, that's it. Japa Mala. I think, let's see, how long have we been talking? Oh, it doesn't tell me. Anyway, this could have been literally a 4-minute video. So thanks for hanging out. I love you. I hope you have a good day. If you want a set of malas to do mantra with, let me know. That's that. Love you. Bye.